from her touch. Ricky's Hollywood counterpart is an artist of great talent as well, a transformer of flesh and blood actors into characters we're unlikely to forget. Lee Cowan takes a close-up look.
Among the galaxy of stars striding red carpets this season, a few made some pretty stunning on-screen transformations. Jared Leto, for one, going from this to this for the Dallas Buyers Club.
I've been looking for you, Lone Star.
It's a remarkable performance, aided by remarkable makeup. One reason why the film is up for an Oscar in that category tonight. But makeup can be an elusive art, usually at its best when you don't notice it's there at all.
This is probably an area of movie making where people don't give you enough credit for how much time it takes to do what you do.
Yeah. I mean, we'll spend a week on an effect, and on camera, it's a split second. So come on into the lab.
Special makeup effects artist Matthew Mungle is used to transforming the famous. He's got hundreds of high-wattage clients peering down at him from the walls of his WM Creations in Hollywood.
This is a face cast of Forrest Whitaker.
Oh, yeah.
Before.
That cast is from his work on Lee Daniels The Butler. Mungle's task was to age nearly the entire cast. Everyone from Forrest Whitaker.
You've served your country well.
Thank you, Mr. President.
To Oprah Winfrey.
You do look a little bit like me.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot about under the eyes and right in here.
Is it just that everything kind of falls?
Gravity is not our friend. I mean, that's what happens.
What do you think, boys?
He was nominated for an Oscar for turning James Woods into the aging white supremacist Byron De La Beckwith
What if I did?
in Ghosts of Mississippi.
It's not like there's anything you nor anybody else can do about it. Yes, sir.
And
Yes.
for turning Glenn Close
Passing by.
into a man in Albert Nobbs.
Need a hand there, Mr. Nobbs?
Yeah.
His knowledge of how the human body ages is surpassed only by how it decomposes.
So this is sort of the attic of horrors?
Yeah, the attic of horrors.
Everywhere you turn,
Whoa.
you find something up here
These are burnt bodies.
you wish you hadn't.
They just have various limbs.
Bodies litter the place, and they're not always in one piece.
Well, that is one big nose.
Arguably, one of the most macabre filing systems anywhere.
No, we've got intestines here.
Is this a lung?
That's a lung. You found a lung.
And then there's his collection of severed heads.
Colin Farrell, Billy Bob Thornton, Bill Paxton.
Now, before you think he's some kind of sadistic weirdo,
Tracy Morgan.
here's the funny part.
If I cut my finger right now, I'd faint right in front of you. I do not like real blood or anything.
serious?
Like that. I'm serious. I just cannot stand real blood.
He's been that way ever since he was a kid.
You grew up on a dairy farm, right?
On
In
a
Oklahoma?
dairy farm in Atoka, Oklahoma.
How did all this come out of a dairy farm?
I think as a kid, I loved monster movies. I just adored Frankenstein and The Mummy, and I'd stay up late and watch Dracula and all of those old black and white movies.
When Mungle was just 15, he made himself up to look like one of the characters in Planet of the Apes to help a local theater promote the upcoming movie.
So did you really ask to borrow your mom's old makeup when she was done with it, or mascara and everything else?
Oh, yeah.
How'd that
and
go
then well, they were a little skeptical at first. It just progressed from there, and it just got in my blood. It was just so addicting to me.
I am Dracula.
In 1993, his addiction paid off when he took home an Oscar for his makeup in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
My dad and mom were watching it at the time. As soon as I won, the phone rang. My dad picked it up, and it was the AP News, and to interview him about his son winning the Academy Award. And he says, I've got 3 sons, and Matthew's number 3, but tonight he's number 1.
Oh.
All right, let's get it.
Movies are only the half of it.
We can set the body out.
Steady diet of cadaver-heavy crime shows.
Family Mark. Action.
Keeps Mungle's lifeless friends employed.
Cut.
He's He's the lead special makeup effects artist for CSI.
Action.
Hey. His work usually ends up on an autopsy table at some point, where it's so realistic.
Cut.
Even veterans like actor Ted Danson are freaked out.
Seriously, this looks so real this way.
It's just what CSI director Louis Melito has come to expect of Mungle.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to this being really graphic, bloody, real showpiece. I think anything you can think of, we've done probably. Yeah, decapitations, melted, burned, eyeless, headless, tongueless, you name it, we've done it.
I don't use this word very often. I think he's a genius at what he does.
No one sees more of Mungle's dark art than actor Robert David Hall.
This right here, you can pull the lung back.
He plays CSI's coroner, Dr. Albert Robbins.
He just radiates a certain joy with his work.
Some of his stuff, even though it's only on screen for sometimes just seconds, if he gets it wrong, that's really going to stick out like a sore thumb, isn't it?
He doesn't get it wrong.
And then the teeth you put in?
The teeth we put in later, yeah.
Mungle is about getting every detail just perfect, down to individual arm hairs, put in one by painful one.
Adds another dimension on top of it, makes it more realistic.
But it all starts with the face.
Perfect.
In this case, actress Monica Casey's face.
I don't think on this show the guests really have anything else to do but die.
Indeed, her character's fate is already cast. Literally.
I'm going to come over your eye.
Monica is drowned in goo, with her mouth open. After all, she's supposed to be dead. After it dries, she's cracked open. The light of day is indeed a welcome sight.
That's great.
A few days later, a new Monica is birthed again.
She is.
Ready for detailing, right down to her eyelids.
And how do you open the eyes?
You cut basically the form of the eye. It's like an eyelid.
That's Monica's grisly end, buried in a pile of concrete.
The dead shall rise.
Weeks of work for just a few digital seconds.
Dion Bazaar.
For Matthew Mungle, there simply is no better job. The way he sees it, being a special makeup effects artist is like being a painter, except on an often star-studded and movable canvas.
I love this art. I love creating things. I love just everything about it. It's creating a character by any means possible.
Ahead.
What the
A few words